We are live. Awesome. Welcome to LaBoys Living Room, episode 3, where we're going to cover financial literacy.
Woo!
Wait, yeah,
Yay,
that's how
that's such
excited.
a fun topic.
I hope you guys can teach me something about this. I need to learn a few things.
Podcast episode is mostly to educate Lauren because we've been telling her to get some high yield savings account to get her finances in check. Not that it's bad, but we finally get to force her to do it by listening to us talk for 30 minutes.
Yeah, the good thing about financial literacy is it could apply to everybody. Obviously, it's all on a different scale, but everybody can use these tips and everybody should use these tips.
Well, the last time that you guys lectured me about this, I then went to my brother and I was like, listen, you need to have a high yield savings account. And I don't even have one.
You know what? If we're helping one person out in this podcast and they make an extra $10 a month they wouldn't have made, I was hoping it was you, but if it's anybody, I'm happy.
Today's going to be the day, guys. Today.
Definitely. This is something that I wish I knew in my 20s that I found out too late in life. And I hope to save somebody and to get this started. Get this as soon as you're 18. Early if you can.
Yeah.
Free money.
As soon as you could open one.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself, do quick intros. LaBoys Gang, if you guys have not signed in yet, we do a bunch of podcasts just bantering about current event topics, travel, really whatever we want to. It's kind of relaxed style banter. I'm Bernice. I'm living right now in the United States. I'm 32 and I like to eat and drink.
What's that?
What?
Who talks like that?
Am I not 32?
That's not the funny part.
That's like me and my TikTok. I was like living in the EU. And yeah, it's like, where the hell is that?
Exactly. Nobody says I'm living in the United States. You're in Florida, you're in New York, you're in Chicago. Where are you?
Yeah. I'll work on the intro. All right, Fifi, give them what you got.
I'm living in the US of A, North America. No, I'm in New York. I am poor. I'm Fifi. That's my intro.
Okay. Hey, everybody. I'm Lauren. I live in London, from the US of A, not living there currently. And that's it.
Awesome. Good.
Okay,
all right.
Let's get started.
Yeah. You want to kick us off, Afua, with your high yield savings account?
Sure. Okay, so how I found out about high yield savings account, I think I was probably 26 when someone said you should open a high yield savings account. I'm like, what is a high yield savings account? I have my savings in Chase. I have my debit card in Chase. I have my direct deposit in Chase. Why can't I just save it in Chase? It's like, are you only getting 1 cent or 2 cents a month? Maybe. I was like, yeah, isn't that what it's at best? I'm like, isn't that what a savings account is? It's like, no. I'm like, so then what's a high yield savings account? Right. So then I had to kind of do a little bit of research. My sister also told me about a high yield savings account. But it's one of those things that I just felt like I didn't want to transfer my money out of one bank into another bank because I just like the idea that I could see everything in one login. I get to see how much is in my debit account, my credit account, and my savings account. It's just one app. So having two different apps or banks just was crazy to me at 26. But I should have just put that aside because the amount of money I wasted not opening a high yield savings account, it's ridiculous. So that's what started me to kind of start looking into what high yield savings account. I don't remember, what does high yield savings account what does it mean? What makes it different from a regular savings account?
Yeah. So I would say I think it's actually you who told me about your high yield savings account. And what a high yield savings account essentially is that you have an annual percentage yield that is way higher than, for example, a traditional savings account. A lot of these are hosted online, but they also do have some with major banks. In your typical savings account, as we were saying, you get 3 cents, but when we signed up, they were 4.55% yields, which is pretty huge. That's just getting an extra $50 in your account, regularly monthly, as opposed to the 3 cents we were getting. One thing that's cool about a high yield savings. So when you told me about it, I was like, oh yeah, I know a little bit about savings accounts and stuff. And I thought it would be similar to a CD or a bond. But the good thing about a high yield savings account is that a CD or a bond, your money is stuck invested for a defined period of time and you can't pull it out. So for example, a 3-month bond, 6-month bond, and you can get higher returns on those than a savings account. But with a high yield savings account, you have access to your money whenever, and they'll even prorate the amount of days that you had the balance in. So say you had 20,000 for 3/4 of the month, you would get or 4.5% on that 20,000. If you take it out, then for the remaining 5 days, you would get 4.5 on your remaining balance. But the good thing about it is it definitely leaves you more liquid than going into a traditional like CD or something of that. So I absolutely loved it. I signed up because you said sign up. I believe you had, which company do you have yours with?
I have Ally.
Yeah, so online. Then I also looked online. So guys, check out. You go to Nerd Wallet and just type in best high yield savings account February. We'll link it in the show notes below on the link for February. But if you just type in the month on Google directly, it'll just tell you the breakdown. Some of them have like $200 bonuses if you deposit 3,000 within and keep it within 2 months, etc. But honestly, it's such a quick win. I was just looking today. The rates have dropped a little bit. My rate is at 3.75 APY, but that's still huge compared to your traditional savings.
APY.
It's your annual percentage yield. So basically what you're getting per year on your current balance, but it's compounded monthly. So every month you get a interest payment. Granted, you are taxed on these interest payments, but getting taxed on money you're making doing nothing is better than not making money and not getting taxed on it.
Exactly.
Yeah, so basically, for example, if I had $1,000, maybe I'll get about $5 at the end of the month on that, and then I'm getting $5 on 1,000, $5 the next month, and then on, so it might be $5.50, and then on 1,000, $10.50 I'm getting five. So it just continues growing like that. It's literally not doing any research. You don't have to switch it into stocks, track the market, nothing. It's basically a dump in like a.
And a lot of these online banks don't have a minimum, so you don't have to say, "Oh, do I have $10,000 to put in a high yield savings account?" There's no minimum for most of them, so you can just put. You don't have to put even everything you have in your regular savings account if you don't trust it yet. Just put, let's say, $1,000 just to test it out to see like there's no harm in first like just putting your money into a high yield savings account. And looking on NerdWallet, the reason why these online banks are even able to have a higher APY or higher interest rate is because they don't have physical branches. They don't have like extra money to have to just put up a branch, employees, and all of that. So everything is done online. That's why they can give you guys or all of us the high interest rate numbers compared to like a Chase or a Bank of America and all of that. That's why you haven't heard of some of these banks.
Similar to online transferring. If you're transferring money from your bank to a different bank, it costs a lot more than if you use an online third-party platform because they don't have the brick and mortar. So I use Wise to transfer euros to dollars. And it's way cheaper than a bank because it's an online platform.
And yeah, talking about transferring, if you are transferring from your own savings account to an online savings account, there is no fee in between that because you're transferring from yourself to yourself, right? So there's no wire fee or anything associated with it. So if I transfer from my Chase to my Ally, I could transfer as many times as I want. There's no fee that comes with that because I'm just giving myself my own money.
Yeah, and what's really good is you can also, just like a regular bank account, you'll get a bank account number and account. So you can even set up direct deposit. So for example, if your paycheck is $300 a paycheck, you could say, look, I just want $10 every paycheck. I don't see it. It goes into this account. And then by the end of the year, without even kind of noticing the money's gone, you'll have grown this account that's also growing on the side without you doing any research. So I'll ping this over to Lauren. What are you doing? Why have you not gotten one? What's holding you back? What are your concerns?
No, I actually was researching it and looking on NerdWallet as well, looking at a couple of the different companies. And one thing that I noticed is that if you do a direct deposit, then the return that you get is much higher. So if you're just doing it like manually, I know I was talking to my brother about this, if you're just putting in money like monthly manually, then you're not going to actually get the same APY.
You can. It depends on the company. So for mine, there's no change with direct deposit or manual. So it depends on which company you're trying to, or which bank you're trying to go with that, if you want a higher rate that way. But it shouldn't be that much of a difference between direct deposit and manual transfers.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where banks are like, oh, we want you to, for example, I just think of my phone bill. When you set it up automatic, you get a $5 discount because they're sure they're guaranteeing funds in their monthly, which allows them to spend more flexibly because the way they're giving this is they're reinvesting your money and making more money than we know on it. But then they're sure they're having a steady flow of income, so they encourage you to do it. I'm just like, I don't know, my phone bill, I think my electric too, I get $5 off or something if I set it up directly because it's guaranteeing an income for them to work on.
Yeah, so not all of them
have you
have to have that. You saw that one thing about direct deposit, just like closed it and said, nah,
forget about it.
No, I was trying to think back. I'm like, what made me not do it? But I remember. So I remember you talking about this maybe 2 years ago. I don't even know when it was the first time that you brought it up. Anyway, and I was like, oh yeah, I've got to do that. And then when you actually brought it up again recently, that was maybe in the last 2 months, it was right before Christmas. And I remember I was talking to my brother as I was like decorating my Christmas tree. I was talking to my brother about it, and I was like, yeah, you absolutely have to do this. And I was like, I'm going to do this tomorrow. But I was like, what happened there? But my job is in Christmas. And then I think I just lost the plot. And
Yeah.
then, yeah, when we were texting about it a couple of days ago or yesterday, I thought, oh no, that's something that I
Well, you
needed
have
to do.
homework
It'll be
now.
part of
You're
my
Well,
New
in the
Year's
living room.
resolutions. It's still January. Today's January, the end of
It's February
Jan. I
tomorrow.
know. I can finally start doing it. But it is crazy. Like, I'm the same way as you. Like, I've had my one bank account that
Yeah.
I've had forever. And then I like to have my savings in there. I like to have all of my stuff. And then I moved to Europe and it was like, I had to add another bank account. And then I moved to the UK and I had to have another bank account. So it's like all of a sudden I have 3 bank accounts. It's like, oh my gosh, adding another one to this feels like a
Yeah.
lot. But if I look at my regular savings account, I am not getting anything back. I'm getting like 5 cents
Ridiculous.
a year or something
Once you start on your
crazy,
second month, you're gonna
crazy.
realize you're gonna regret not doing this. And I
I
feel like we're
know.
peer pressuring you, and that's only because I just can't understand how if I was you and I was like back me myself in 25 when I was 25 and somebody said do it, do it, do it, I'm like, all right, why are you rushing me? Like, relax.
I
But now
wish
that
I
I
was
know,
25.
now that I know the possibilities of the money that was like we could have been making back then, just to have extra income. It's like if you're buying a cup of coffee or if you're buying a donut or buying something that you don't really need, like an extra drink, you're like,
A
something I
lash
made like
lift.
their lash lift. I made
God,
like an
let's not
extra
talk about my
$50.
stupid lash lift.
That's
I
another
know.
episode. They
It
don't
is
feel so
another
bad about
episode.
it because you feel like,
Yeah.
okay, I just made $50 on my high yield savings account, so let me just buy this little treat for myself.
It's like saying,
Yeah.
okay, if you just put your email address in here, every month you can collect a $30 gift card, and you'd be like,
that's how it
think
feels.
about
That's how
how
it
many
feels.
things
Guys.
you put your email into without thinking, and then boom. Anyways,
But
Lauren's
I'm just
gonna
gonna
feel
go onto
super pressured
NerdWallet
from
right
signing
now.
up right now.
If you choose, I want you to do your own research, but if you choose my bank, which is Ally, I do have a referral code that I could give you, but you do not
I
have to choose mine.
also probably have a referral code I can give you, but I would recommend going and just finding the highest yield, and depending on the balance you're throwing in there, you can sometimes get like a $500.
Exactly.
I think that when I signed up, I had to put $5,000 and got $300 after keeping that in 2 months. So on top of the APY, I got like just a quick $200 deposit, which was
So there's
amazing.
Discover, there's
Nice.
American Express, there's Ally, Capital One, there's other online
There's one
banks
called
you
like
probably haven't.
SoFi or
Yeah,
something.
SoFi
Yeah,
is the one
SoFi
that
is
pops
also
up
pretty good.
monthly
It's
in the top
another good
list.
one. And it's
Also,
really just what works best for you, really. It's like how to pick one.
yeah, how much money you're planning to have in there changes the plan. If you're planning to access the money frequently, some could charge if you access the account more than 3 times a month and stuff, they have charges that are associated. So knowing your lifestyle and how you want to use it is going to show you which one's best for you. And we got referral codes, so if you don't know, don't worry, we got you.
Can you post the referral codes on our podcast?
Yes, of course.
We could definitely do that.
You should do it. Let's do that.
Yeah, they'll be in the show notes, guys.
Sign
Check
up because
the
I'd
show
rather you
notes.
sign up.
Yeah. Cool. So I think that was one big thing that I wish I knew in my 20s was about the high yield savings account, because again, just like free money essentially. Another thing I think that is really important in today, especially I see people interacting with credit cards way differently. So just in general, I don't know where I was taught about credit cards, but I've always loved credit cards in the US. So I know other people in other countries do not have the same rewards programs or flexibility with their credit cards. But if you're based in the US, the opportunities that come with credit cards are seriously insane. I mean, you could sign up for a credit card and in 3 months have a free round trip international flight with just points and not doing anything outside of your normal spending. So I think
interesting how a lot of people have a lot of credit card and a lot of credit card debt, but they don't know how to use credit cards. They don't know how to get the extra points. They don't know when to pay their credit cards. What is the statement balance? When is that, like when the statement ends, like what do? Do you pay everything off every month, or do you have a limit you can set? Like a lot of people don't understand how credit cards work. And just from watching social media and seeing a lot of people just kind of just swiping their cards or living this lavish lifestyle, and all I'm thinking is like, how much debt are you in? because your income to debt ratio, it doesn't seem to match up from what I'm seeing, right? So that's when we started talking about, I wonder how much debt other people are in and they don't even know how to use their credit cards or how to benefit from the points of their credit card, right? Because all three of us have the American Express Platinum cards, right? And we did, like, we have a group chat about what points we can use, or like which flights or anything that really can help us make sure that that 685, how much is $95?
95, yeah,
$95 a
Yeah.
year, like we actually utilize all our free things that comes with it, so we don't feel like we're like wasting $700 a year.
At the end of the day, you should be making money off of your credit card and not the other way around. And it's really easy to plan to make sure that you're making money from the credit card and not being one of those people that's paying us to make money from the credit card, essentially. So I
Yeah.
think but I do understand how it can be tricky because, for example, you all of a sudden, maybe you're living paycheck to paycheck and all of a sudden you have a $5,000 limit. There's all these things you feel like you need. And then so you go out and get them, but then you're not paying it off. And these credit cards are like 28% interest. So your $5,000 you've spent, by the end of the year, you could be owing $8,000 on those purchases, and it's going to keep growing. I try to think of a credit card as like, if my friend loaned me $200, how uncomfortable would I be not paying them back within that same month? Like, it's a money that you're borrowing from somebody, and if you don't pay them back, like, it's going to increase because they have to find that money to pay back the vendors, everything. So you're paying for the inconvenience that they're going through. So,
What I
I
would
mean,
say is that also try to spend credit cards as though it's your debit card, right? So don't overspend what is not in your debit card. So if you can actually pay off from what's in your debit card to your credit card, then that's the limit you should be staying at. Whatever your monthly charges are in your debit card is what you should be putting on your credit card. So you can just pay it off at the end of the month. You get the points for the credit cards. You don't get a lot of points from your debit card. But if you can't pay it off with what's in your debit card, you shouldn't be spending over that. That's how I see it. So that's my
yeah, I
limit
think
for myself.
that's a great rule of thumb. I think literally, if you don't have the money, don't spend it. Like,
Yeah,
that is
that's
because
it.
you're going to go broke with
Yeah.
money you owe. And then if you do need to get money, just take out a loan, because a loan is going to be a lot cheaper in interest than a credit card, and then use that to navigate whatever essential situation you need to get out of. But I think overall, what you're saying, it's okay if you let your credit card roll. For example, if you want to, I don't know, you have a huge expense, you need to put a down payment on a car, and you're like, okay, this month I can afford to pay half of it. Next month I'll pay the other half. If you have a plan, it's going to get you that car today, and then you're going to be able to get to work and whatever, and then you have 2 months, and you have to have a plan to pay it off and quickly, because if not, you're going to find yourself with 5 credit cards with tons of balances, and this kind of has a negative ripple effect where then your credit is smashed, and then anytime you want to buy something else, if your credit is in the 400s and things, you're going to be getting on your loans, on your mortgage, on everything, terrible interest rates. So everything that's the same cost for somebody else, you're going to be paying essentially on a mortgage. It would be almost double if you get a bad interest rate over the term of the loan. So it's really important. I mean, this is something you should know, I would say, in your teens, never mind 20s, because your
Teach
credit
yourself.
starts building
Yeah.
like really, really young as soon as you get a credit card.
How do you feel about credit cards, Lauren?
I love credit cards. I remember my dad, he
It's like I hear you, but the way my credit card bills are over the roof, it's like I feel like, am I being attacked? Is this podcast about me?
No, guys, all my bills are paid, okay?
Yeah.
I remember when I was younger and I first got a credit card, and my dad said, you need to start building credit immediately. He said, go buy a pair of socks. Like, buy anything to start that credit card going, and make sure that you pay it off immediately.
Yeah.
And that's kind of
That's
like what I've always lived by.
That's a good rule
Yeah.
of thumb, because your longest credit line also starts from that age, right? So you try to get that started as soon as
Yeah,
possible.
definitely. And so
your
I've
credit
always been
score
really
is
careful
measured on
about it.
length of time you've had credit. So the earlier you can get it, the better.
That's good. It means it's measured different to your GPA, which is always what I like kind of in my head compared it to. I was like, okay, because if you were in high school and you had like 1B, all of a sudden your GPA would fall, and it was just so hard to get it back up. And so for me, I've always wanted to stay within my a little 4.0, which is not what I had in high school. But
And it doesn't work the other way. If you have all B's and you get 1A, your GPA doesn't go up. But if
go
you
up.
get
I know.
1C, it drops.
Yeah, yeah. So I know it's tough, but you can always like obviously build up your credit score. Again, there's like various different ways that you can do it, but I've been very diligent in making sure that I have the money where I need to have it in order to be able to actually afford things or pay off my credit cards. So yeah.
A lot of people
I
don't know
actually really
about
want to get
closing credit
another
cards
credit
too.
card though.
I was thinking of
Oh,
getting another
sorry.
credit card too
No,
and
no,
going
no, no,
into
no.
airline cards.
I was
Sorry,
also
we're
thinking about
closing
getting
them
another one.
apparently.
No, we're not closing them.
What?
You shouldn't close your credit cards.
You're gonna close
If
a
you have
credit card?
no, no, no. I'm just saying for your longest credit line. Some people think like, oh, I don't use my first credit card anymore, right? Because now I have
Mm.
points. I have this. I have a better credit card. So, for example, my very first credit card was a Discover credit card. It had like I had it in college. It had no annual fees, and I put like everything on that little credit card. But I don't even know what that card is anymore. But some people just like, oh, I don't use the card anymore. Let me just cancel my first credit card, and I really just like f's you up by closing your like very first line of credit. But I do also actually want to open another credit card. But I don't know which one. I don't know
So
which
before
one.
we get into new credit cards, what is your favorite credit card that you have?
I can tell you what my least favorite one is right now.
Yeah, shoot.
I don't want to get canceled by them because I still have it. I'm gonna pay my $695.
That's
My least
not I
favorite. It's hard.
No,
I
most
had
favorite.
my most favorite.
Most favorite.
My most
mm.
favorite. Lauren, go ahead. Say first.
Now I want to get the Chase Sapphire, but I got declined
You got
recently.
declined.
Is it because
Yeah,
you're
I did.
overseas?
Exactly.
Cause
Yeah,
why?
I'm overseas. I'm
The
overseas
address.
and no, I still have my parents' address and for some
How
reason
did
I
they
got
find out?
declined. So I don't know. I need to work it out again because an
You were
American
gonna get
citizen. I
the
still
you were
have
gonna get the Amex and the Chase.
I was going
No,
to
no,
cancel
you said Chase Sapphire Preferred or Chase Reserve?
the Chase Sapphire Preferred is what I was actually going to get.
Okay. Wait, you got denied
Okay,
from that?
but for that one,
But I literally got,
credit score looking like Lauren.
Thank God, parents.
oh, my credit.
Never mind your GPA.
It's like it's like
I'm
800. I'm
kidding.
okay,
I'm
guys.
kidding. I'm kidding.
No,
No, I think
I
it's
have
the
friends who.
preferred that I wanted to get. I got
It's a new
declined. Maybe it's
preferred.
the
It's a new.
reserve. Fine.
So was it
Okay.
$900 for annually, or was it the 500 annual?
No.
100?
No, no, no.
Which
Yeah, the
one?
100 one. Yeah,
Oh
the
yeah, then
100
it's a
one.
preferred. That's a preferred.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Okay.
perfect because I actually have right now all the specs of the sign up bonuses up for the 3 cards we were
Phoebe,
discussing.
she came prepared.
Perfect.
She came with the numbers. Of course.
The thing is that I have a little less benefits living overseas. So living in the US, like the credit card is king,
Yeah.
whereas in Europe, sometimes cash is still king, not necessarily here in London,
Mhm.
but yeah, the credit cards are still kind of an up and coming thing.
Yeah.
So a lot of the benefits I don't necessarily get by
Yeah,
paying
so I can
a lot.
piggyback off of that. I've had friends who put in my address while they live in Europe to keep their credit cards from when they were in the US and apply for new ones, and they also get denied. And I was helping a friend in Switzerland get a credit card, and I was like going through every possible credit card, and I was shocked because the only benefits I could find on any credit card were with like an airline, so Swiss Air. And the
Hmm.
benefits that you would
Yeah.
get with an airline card now are like, I don't know, 80,000 miles signing up
Yeah.
bonus, this, that. And it was like X miles when you travel, 1 lounge pass, not even full lounge
Yeah.
access. And that was
I have
for
a
the
British
annual
Airways
card you
card.
pay.
You were
Like it was
telling
a
us
paid
about that.
card.
Yeah,
So
it's literally nothing. It's like one companion voucher a year. Like
Yeah.
one person
One
can fly
year.
with you. A year. Yeah, it's barely anything, but it's the best one over here right now.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. The best is essentially equivalent to, I would say, like the 3rd tier here.
Yeah. I think Southwest has a buddy pass or something like that. I don't know if they still have it, but like that's not even the best like airline in the US, and that's giving you that at least. So it is. If you have it here in the US and you live in the US and you get these really good credit cards, do your research and try to see which ones work best for you. I say that as I still don't know which credit card I want to get.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you, I have 3 credit cards. So I have the American Express Platinum, I have the Marriott Bonvoy Boundless card. So this is when I thought I was going to be, and I was in a Marriott hotel for about 3 weeks. I thought if I got this card, it's gonna just shoot my points through the roof, because you get 7x points when you're buying stuff at Marriott with the Marriott card. And then the Chase Sapphire Preferred. And a lot of these cards are also really cool because they double up with partners. So for example, Delta is partnered with Marriott, and then Marriott's partnered with Uber. So if you take Uber, or sorry, is it Lyft? Lyft. you take Lyft, you can get Delta miles for Lyft. And if you through Marriott, I get Marriott hotel points through Lyft. So by kind of tangling all these together, I take a Lyft and I'm getting hotel points and air points. So that's a really cool way to kind of triple your points. So for that, I like the Marriott card. I also had a few really good situations using that where the value of points was way better than the cost of the hotel. So one example that comes to mind, and I think we've stayed in a couple of the hotels that I've had on the Marriott points, but one hotel that jumps to mind is at Disney. I was looking at the hotels last minute for my mom's birthday, and each room was going to be like $420 in tax. And then I get one free night per year, plus I have the points that are accruing. And I don't have to do anything. This card is $95 a year. And I managed to get 2 Disney rooms last minute, each valued at like $450. So that's $900 in rooms that I paid $95 a year to get. So for that, it's an absolute no-brainer. Fifi, it says your recording will continue on a new track. Anyways, then so I think for hotels, it's a good one. I don't know if it's the best hotel card out there, but I will also drop a link below. Right now, they're doing $150 statement credit if you sign up. And then in the first 12 months, you can get 100,000 bonus points. So that's massive. 100,000 bonus points. I would say like a really nice hotel is 65,000 points. In a regular hotel, like a regular Hilton or something, I mean, I paid 35,000 points for those 2 Disney hotels. So 100,000 points is huge. So that is the sign up perks right now for the Marriott. So I think for my hotel cards, I was happy because I can kind of triple the points there and transfer my Marriott points to airlines when they're doing promos for like 3, 4x. Fifi, what card
I had
were
to
you
switch
talking
my
about
mic
getting rid of?
because the American Express Platinum card. But last year, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Am I screaming? Oh, last year I used up all like at least $700 worth of benefits on that. I used all $200 worth of airline fees and things. I checked everybody's bag that wanted me to check for them with United. It's like, are you taking United? I could take a bag for you for free. Like I used it all up that way. And then I also sign up for Disney Plus. I think it gives you about $20 a month for Disney Plus. So I got it every single month.
New York Times,
I also
Disney Plus.
Peacock,
Yeah.
exactly. And then I did Walmart Plus when I was living in Jersey. So I did a Walmart Plus, just like $13 a month. So I got that back. The Uber credit, which is $15 a month, 30 in December. So I just made sure to like sign up for everything and use as much as possible. And I also think I applied for my TSA/global entry. So that's another like. So I made sure to like happily
1,200 basically back.
Exactly. So I just made sure to use that so I don't feel as bad on that charge comes in May for me of like $700 just like gone.
I also know
so this
you were
year,
like, oh no, it's the 30th. I need to get Uber Eats because I have a $15.
Yeah, I was ordering just because I spent money I didn't need to. But also, actually, last year, January, talking about Disney, I also went to Disney and used the hotel 2 nights at one of the Disney resorts to get like the $200 credit at the hotel, which then I used to buy the food and snacks for breakfast before you have to wake up at 7 a.m. to get to Frozen. But yeah, so yeah, I used up as much as I possibly can. This year, I'm going to try to do it again, but you have to plan ahead. And that's what I tried to do last year, and this year I'm going to do it again. But I don't know what card I'm going to get. I want to get the Reserve, the Chase Reserve, because I do need my lounges, but I also feel like traveling is slowing down for me. So I'm not, do I need to actually do those extra lounges, or should I just get a Capital One where they do have some lounges and they give you back the money if you do pay for the lounge, right? So you don't get access directly to the lounge, but you do get the money back if you kind of like use your Capital One venture card. So that's where I am.
I know the Amex is I would get the Chase Sapphire, the Reserve, but you cannot get the sign-up bonuses if you already have a like qualified Chase card. And since I have the preferred, that's what's killing me because the signing bonuses are kind of 50% of the win on signing up for a new credit card. And this, I would say the benefits are really neck and neck similar. There's a couple things that I prefer on the the Reserve, but the Amex, I'm probably getting like $2,000 value through that per year. I mean, I think about how many lounges I'm going to. I'm bringing people into these lounges with me. I'm never getting insurance on rental cars, which is always extra, and I would never drive a car without insurance because you never know what's going to happen. The $200 like flight credit or whatever I've used every year. Last year, I also did the TSA global entry renewal. Saks Fifth Ave. I mean, I had a $50 credit, so I got a $400 hat, which was the dumbest purchase ever. But I saved $50 on it.
Yeah.
So I definitely feel like I can make, and it also gives you gold status in like tons of different things. So I know anytime I'm going to get a rental car, I can just like pick it up out the lane and pick up any car. Same thing with Hilton. If there's eligible room upgrades, they'll give them to you first because you have automatic status. So there's definitely a lot of perks, but if you don't travel, it makes zero sense. And if you're abroad, it was also really hard because I couldn't use any of my Uber credits. That's like one of the big perks. Because Uber credit doesn't work for Uber. Like, does it work in the UK?
Oh yeah, it doesn't work. Yeah, no, it
I
didn't
don't
work for
think
London.
so.
Because for Lyft, for
Yeah.
Lime, I didn't get to use any of my Uber credit for December, or yeah, December when we were
Mm.
there for Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, we'll leave all the links below to the 3 cards we have. I mean, obviously, we didn't just pick these cards out of nowhere. We did a lot of research before getting them, and we use them frequently enough that we still have them. So there's a lot of huge benefits, especially if you guys are out there traveling. But you, again, just like the high yield savings, you have to see what's right for you, what you'd actually benefit from, and what makes sense for your lifestyle.
You guys are my go-tos on this information.
If
Always,
you actually
so.
listen to us, we wouldn't need to
It's
set up a podcast, so you are forced to listen to us.
Point of view, you set up a whole fake podcast to get Lauren to listen to your advice.
A financial.
you guys. By next
No, I'm
week,
joking.
you can ask me when we open up if I have a high yield savings
Okay,
account.
that is true.
We're gonna hold you to that.
Yes. Okay. Right. I'll say thanks to everybody for listening in. I hope you learned something. I learned something. Lauren, did you learn
I
something?
did. I learned a lot of things.
I'm just
I hope you put it to
excited
practice.
if 1 or 2 people hear this and sign up for understand credit cards better, sign up for high yield savings, and get that free money while it's out there. Interest rates are going to change. Get you that free money. You totally guac this.
You always have this.
All right. Thank you guys for joining. Like, subscribe. We're dropping new episodes every single week on different topics. So just
We
put it
should get,
on.
like,
We're
a
on Spotify
soundtrack.
too. Yeah. You got it? Beatbox?
Go on. Okay. Sorry.
So we're on Spotify and YouTube. So check us out. Give us a follow. Share with your friends. It's something that they could interest them. And looking forward to hanging out in the living room with you guys next week. Thanks for
Me
tuning
too.
in.